All right, Ethan. So we've just jumped on to record this episode, and as we were saying hello to each other, we both said the same thing. We both said, "Man, I'm tired. I'm tired, and I'm looking forward to the weekend." We're recording this on a Friday, looking forward to the weekend, and that really got me thinking. I mean, it's not the first time I've ever been tired in my life. It's not the last time I'm ever going to be tired in my life, and I'm sure there's a million people out there, billions of people out there that are in that same boat. And I'm curious, like from your side, and again, I mean, you're a successful entrepreneur, successful businesses, just got back from a speaking and a workshop tour, so you've been on the go. How do
Yeah.
you manage being tired to still show up for yourself, for your family, for your customers, for your clients? How do you still show up as that best version of yourself when you feel like you've got to get the matchsticks out and prop the eyelids up using two of them?
Welcome to King Moves. In chess, the king moves one step at a time, but that single move can change everything. Each week, we explore mindset shifts and simple actions that could lead to the next breakthrough in your business and life. I'm your co host, Ethan King, from Atlanta, Georgia, USA, entrepreneur, TEDx speaker, and best selling author of Wealth Beyond Money.
And I'm your co-host, Justin King, no relation to Ethan, from Cape Town, South Africa, entrepreneur, speaker, and business growth strategist. Our journey crosses continents and cultures as we think out loud, challenge assumptions, and uncover the small moves that create big momentum. Welcome to King Moves. Let's start the conversation.
Yeah, well, wow. Well, first of all, energy is key. It's critical to anything you're doing. But tired is only temporary, right? We know that at some point we're going to get that rest. So I keep that in the back of my mind. But I'm like, how can I show up and deliver maximum energy? I just came back from doing 2 workshops back to back, plus travel on top of that. So in different cities. So it was 4 days of travel with half-day workshops on 2 of those days back to back and dinners, networking. So it's full steam ahead. Very little sleep because I'm like refining my presentation at night. So one thing I do is I kind of have a routine. Like when I'm on the go and I need to be fired up, but my body is exhausted. First thing, I always make sure that I do some type of stimulating exercise in the morning. Even if I only had 3 or 4 hours of sleep, I make sure to get my heart rate up first thing in the morning because that keeps me going. And my supplements are critical. I travel with a pill chest where,
Yeah.
it's divided by days. And I always, that's the first thing I throw in my luggage because I have like my vitamin B12 in there, my vitamin C, especially when you're traveling, you're the germs on the plane, all that kind of stuff, and shaking people's hands and all of that. So I take 6,000 grams. Is it grams or milligrams? Well, six vitamin C
Yeah,
pills.
milligrams.
Yeah, milligrams. Okay. And fish oil, the omega-3, caffeine, lots and lots of caffeine. So yeah, it's definitely, I have a lot of stimulants in my bloodstream for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Natural from the exercise and, the endorphins and stuff and the dopamine, but the energy of what I'm doing really keeps me going also. Like the energy I get from the audience interaction, things like that. So, but I know in the back of my mind, at some point I'll be able to crash. Like I've only had a couple of hours of sleep. I just got back. I just landed a couple of hours ago, jumped on this call with you. I have a bunch of calls today, but I know at some point, like this weekend, I'm going to crash out.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I think the important thing that you mentioned there that resonates with me is I can handle it when I know it's finite. If I just had to be if you had to tell me, Justin, you're just going to indefinitely be tired, that's really tough to deal with. But if
Hmm.
if I know, right, I've got to get to the end of Friday or this week or the next week coming up, that man, you're going to feel tired that week. You got a lot on the go, and you're going to have that feeling. I can deal with it. I also try not to. If I wake up in the morning and I'm feeling tired, I try not to give it too much of my energy. That sounds silly. But what I mean by that is, as soon as you label it and you start saying to yourself, man, I feel so tired. I don't know if I can do this today. You're already talking yourself out of doing the thing today. So as much as possible, even if I get to bed late, I will try and still do my usual morning routine. So still try get up early because I find if I get to bed late and then I say, right, well, I'm just going to sleep in, and now my whole routine's out of sync. So
Hmm.
I'm really struggle with that. So I try to keep my routine where I can to what it usually is. So even if I get to bed late, I'll get up early. I'll get moving. And sometimes it's even just getting to gym and going into the sauna or the steam room because I'm like, you know what? I'm quite tired. I don't necessarily feel like I can exercise too much, but I've got out of bed. I'm going to get a good sauna or steam in and then grab a cup of coffee. I'm a caffeine man as well. Too much caffeine, but it works for me and it's my go-to.
Yeah.
So, and then again, you mentioned it as well. I think if figure out where you harness your energy from. So the thing that you and I are both tired from is also spending a lot of time doing a thing that we really enjoy that gives us a lot of energy in the moment. That also helps is getting in front of people, getting onto the stage to give a talk or getting in front of people to host a workshop, run a facilitation in the moment. You can draw the energy from the crowd and you can show up how you need to show up. But like you said, at some stage it's all going to catch up and you are going to crash. So being able to know when that is going to be, I find a massive help. I mean, like I've got huge respect for people that have got little crying babies, keeping them up at night, not getting a lot of sleep, all nighters being pulled for the project deadlines, and it's week after week. Tough, man.
Yeah.
It's tough to be
Oh
feeling
yeah.
tired consistently.
I've been there with the babies. I remember those days. But yeah, the funny thing, I had this kind of a tangent here, but I had the thought as I was traveling and on these speaking engagements, public speaking is really a lonely journey in a
Mm.
way. It wouldn't seem that way because you're on stage, you're talking to people all the time. But when I'm not on stage, I'm pretty much by myself. Like all the travel time, I'm by myself, in the hotel, running, exercising. Then I go from that being alone to being on stage and fully on and engaging with people constantly. So it's like going from 0 to 100 and like staying on and really in performance
Yeah,
mode. I don't get to just hang out
yeah,
in the crowd and kick back. Everyone wants to talk to me and I need to engage with them. And then after the dinner, after the event and the happy hours, the cocktails, then after the dinners, then boom, I'm back to being alone again. And it's the travel again. It's like this weird cycle. But I think that, I'm kind of an ambivert by nature. I used to be very introverted on every personality test. Then I exercised my extrovert muscles. So now I'm slightly extroverted, but I'm like right in the middle on the what is that, Myers-Briggs 16 personalities, right between I and E. So I need the energy from people, but then I need to recharge and I need to be alone. So it really kind of fits my personality, that this lifestyle.
yeah. Would do you tend to find that you feel more tired when you on your own or when you are with people and having to engage? When does it really hit you?
It doesn't hit me when I'm around people. I don't feel
Yeah, me too.
tired. It's just late. I'm like once I get alone, then I'm like, oh man, it's just boom. It's like, oh okay, because your body knows your body's keeping you up, but then it's just like, okay, physically you can't operate on 4 hours of sleep for forever. I mean, it's going to catch up with you at some point. And I even track. I use a couple of sleep apps that tell me how much sleep debt I have. So one of them I think is called Sleep Cycle, and the other one is called Rise, Rise. So that's kind of cool because it's a mathematical way of me knowing, okay, I owe my body this much sleep because it affects everything, your brain function. I mean, I think I get by pretty well, but on days when I'm well rested, I feel like I'm firing at all cylinders. Like there's a huge difference. Yeah.
I think that's a great point. And maybe that's where we can roll this up into a king move. And just because you can doesn't mean you should. And what I mean by that is just because we can operate when we're feeling tired, it's certainly not optimal. So I'm not standing here sharing, advocating that burn the candle at both ends. And if you're tired, just keep pushing because that also goes against smart toughness. That's not smart toughness. But knowing that you can do it in the moment, I think that is key. But not trying to do it all the time is absolutely what we've got to be aiming for. So just because you can shouldn't become the norm. Don't try and live off 4 hours of sleep. And again, I know some people will say, "Hey, Dustin, I disagree because I operate on 4 hours of sleep." Great, but I don't believe that you can be optimal at 4 hours of sleep. But there's no way that you can. You're letting yourself down in some way. So I think that would be my king move: is realize you can do it in short bursts, but just because you can doesn't mean you should. So don't make it the norm.
Nice, nice. I totally agree. My king move would be, you might think that if you're tired, the last thing you need to do is any type of rigorous exercise, but it's really the opposite. That you need to force yourself to get your heart rate up and do some really rigorous exercise when you're tired, because that will give you the extra energy boost that you need. And I'm fully on board with caffeinating, supplements, but go put your all into whatever you do. And if you're tired, use natural ways to get your energy up, and then you can always crash later. So that would be my king move.
Amazing. I like it. Thanks, Ethan.
That's a wrap for today's episode of King Moves. Remember, in chess, like in business,
one right move can change everything.
Take today's action step, make your move, and build momentum.
If you found value in today's episode, share it with someone who's ready for their next breakthrough. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss our weekly conversations. Until next time.